Dota2 is coming. This would be a nice little mini game. We could do this while we cast, because people don't know when the game starts and the camera's not on us. Purge is still up here. I can just look at him all the like every facial animation. Since you're a robot, there's no expression. It's a facial animation that was coded for you. I can see. But Game of Gladiators versus Tundra. Tundra takes game 1 in pretty convincing fashion. And like the panel talked about, if Game of Gladiators loses, then there will be a tiebreaker for relegation between them and Goon Squad. So super important for them, but just based off the lineups, do you have a favorite?
I think I like Tundra's stuff better for sure. I mean, the Batrider is a bit interesting, but Void is traditionally counter against it because of time dilation. So you just stop them from reapplying sticky napalm, and then your lane can be reset, sort of. That part is nice. Chronosphere, very powerful, obviously. Chronosphere against Wraith King, not so good. So there's good things for both teams, definitely. But it's hard to watch the last game and not expect Tundra to pull out a win.
Right. And I think I speak for all of us, including Tsunami, who is very excited for this Wyvern mid, which I haven't gotten to see in a really long time. What are you expecting to come out of 9 in terms of... well, we can talk about the matchup a little bit later because that's what we usually do anyway. But what do you even buy on this hero? He mentioned Bloodthorn. I mean, Aghanim's used to be a thing, but they nerfed the crap out of that, so I don't think anybody goes for that anymore, right?
I don't know if I'd say nerf the crap out of it. I mean, it's probably weaker. I don't remember the specific nerfs to it, but Witchblade is the most common item to buy. It's like the perfect item to turn heroes into like cores because it gives you everything that the hero usually lacks, which is agility. So it gives you attack speed and it gives you armor. Those are the 2 big things. And it also obviously gives you damage and slow and projectile speed increase. Those are all really good things too. But yeah, Witchblade into Orchid or other utility items would definitely be an expected one here.
All right, and he's going to be going up against Boom, obviously, who played the Puck last game. Not too much success, obviously, but I don't even know how this lane goes. Like, Splinter Blast, I assume, is just going to eventually get leveled up to the point that he's just pushing out the waves, but if you're Boom, you can typically dodge that relatively easily with the phase shift. So I would assume it's just mostly a farm trade. But then into the jungle, I assume Puck still has a little bit of an advantage because he's just better than everybody else.
He should, for sure. I mean, yeah, you basically just use Splinter Blast to secure some of your early last hits because your base damage is kind of crappy. But he'll definitely need Bottle to sustain that, for example. And then later on, he can go do some like side lane ganks and things like that. And then transition into getting solo kills, ideally.
And this top lane is really interesting. Celery and Dyrachyo are in the off lane, essentially, to try to harass Skeeter on this Faceless Void, which is another hero that we don't get to see a ton of. Go ahead.
They had to avoid the Batrider was the main thing. They couldn't lane that matchup. It would have been too bad for them. In some ways, this is better for Gaming Gladiators too, because Batrider's kind of counters Visage in some ways. You can break through his armor really, really easily. So gives them the better matchups. Yeah, it's a carry versus carry setup, but should be fine.
Yep, Soul Assumption is a very scary spell to go up against in any kind of lane, as Ace is going to take another one to the face, but he's going to use the Firefly with the 4 sticky napalm stack onto Soxa, but you can see Tofu's stun not able to come out, so they lose Ace, and that is first blood for 33. Soul Assumption to follow, but didn't have any stacks on it, so Tofu's going to be just fine. But I mean, 33, one of the best Visage players in the world, and showing why there.
Yeah, it was nicely done. I mean, it was kind of a bit of a moment there for Ace, but yeah, the Soul Assumption cooldown is just so low, it just keeps coming back. Very difficult for them to win that fight, unfortunately. But last hits right now, looks pretty even across the board, except for Batrider. Batrider's only got 4 last hits right now. He's the one here that's suffering big time.
Yeah, and the death obviously not going to help too much in that regard. So we'll see if he's able to bounce back, or if they... I mean, do you think there's a world where you need to switch lanes eventually, or do you just stick it out there as that Batrider in the bot lane? All right. Well, saying sticking out. Ace, yeah, he gets a kill on the 33, so a nice revenge kill, if you will.
That's in some ways the counter to Visage, is you just kill him instead of his support. If you're always going for the support, he gets way more Soul Assumptions off, but once you kill him, the rest of the fight is pretty straightforward. Yeah, this lane is a little dangerous, but yeah, the more levels he gets, the better this gets for him. Visage actually struggles a lot, usually between like levels 2 and 6, because that's the point where your opponents can kind of run you down and just kill you repeatedly, like those jug counters that we sometimes see. So once Batrider gets more skill points, his potential power level is going to go up a lot higher, whereas 3-3 is going to have to skill more points in Soul Assumption. The skill does scale okay, but I can't help but think that at least before 6, that Batrider has a lot more kill potential on Visage than the other way around.
I've never heard anybody explain a power, like you said, between levels 2 and 6, he's gonna have to. That's quite a big range. That's basically the whole laning stage. Right?
It is not, because level 1 you're just way stronger on Visage because Soul Assumption's a god tier spell, right? It does like a huge amount of damage.
As we're
it's
seeing
like 230
again.
damage for 1 skill point. So yeah. Once they get past 2 and Batrider has like a flame break to play with and more damage sources and things like that and lots of napalm, it definitely changes the lane a bit. But once they hit 6 on 3-3, then he's got familiars, and that's different again, because then your Grave Chill actually does something instead of makes your hero attack faster, which is kind of useless.
Yeah.
Or at least slightly useless.
Yep, very true. And you can see 9 in the mid lane, 22-2 versus the 32-6 of Boom. Of course, a lot of these are neutral creeps. So, I mean, if we actually look at the net worth, then it's pretty much, it's like a 200 gold advantage for Puck, so not anything major yet. But good start for Boom, who, I mean, last game, I think he started off relatively well, but then got caught off guard early on, like mid-laning stage, I want to say, and that kind of ruined his game. As you can see the Starbreaker connect fully onto 33, has the Soul Assumption, he uses it on Ace before he dies, as Ace, that last right click from Soxa is enough, so it's a trade of both respective position 3s.
And that's 2 games in a row now that Sox has gone tree grab. Again, a lot of Tinies just skip that ability, and they say, screw it, I want as many points in Avalanche and Toss as possible to upgrade my damage and everything, but that slow got him the kill there. Yeah,
top lane, a good rotation from Boom, a good sleep setup from Celery. That's the first coil of the game, as they are able to clean up Skeeter relatively easily. And this is I mean, Skeeter last game on the Bloodseeker did not get, I felt like, pushed out of lane at any point in the laning stage. So this is a much better start for game number 2.
Yeah, this one's very different, actually. In some ways, maybe this is what was so cool about the Gladiators draft, that they had Puck first phase. They picked Batrider, and their opponents say, okay, we'll pick Void to counter it. But then they're like, oh shit, Puck counters Void really good for quite a long period of time. That's why that rotation was so powerful. Dream Coil against Faces Void is going to be really, really nasty to deal with for Skeeter. So if they get a lot of successful rotations against him, it really could upend the tempo of the game in a big way.
Well, I'm interested in what Skeeter's going to go on the Faceless Void. It's going to be the Mask of Madness to start, but do you have like I mean, I don't think there's a cookie cutter build for Void in general. There's like 2 or 3 builds I want to say, but is there something in specific you want to see?
Maelstrom is pretty darn normal at this point, just because it's the cheaper Battle Fury. You just get to farming a little bit faster. You don't necessarily want the cleave that much these days anyways. It's just an expensive item. So yeah, Mask of Madness, Maelstrom, I've seen some games maybe where they shy away from going for the Maelstrom build, maybe if they're behind, but if Skeeter's having a remotely normal game, he'll probably go that. Once in a while you see a Midas. If they're struggling and need to catch up, for example, then maybe they shave off the Maelstrom, but yeah, that's usually the mix of items you pick up.
All right, 9 actually cursed Boom in the mid lane, but I think it was a bit of a mistimed Avatos, not able to get the full damage while that curse was mitigating a lot of it. So Boom lives, and that's a pretty big cooldown in that curse being down. Is Soxa now transitioning back to the bot lane.
Ward. As a fresh ward, he just got in the mid lane, very important.
Juicy.
Yeah, I mean, losing Winter's Curse is not the end of the world. It would have been really nice for 9, obviously, to get a kill. But it's not exactly like an ability that's super, super easy to take to a lane and pick up a kill on a side laner. Speaking of side laning, though, 3-3 kind of feeling zoned from the lane now. Batrider's kind of controlling it. He's got Boots, Windlace, 3 points Napalm, 2 Firefly, and he doesn't quite have 6. Again, once he has 6, he can actually contest the lane against Batrider, but for now, 3-3 definitely struggling.
Perch, can you do me a favor, and next time there's a nice play and you're describing it, can you just describe it as a juicy play?
Yeah,
okay. All right. I'd really love to hear the deadpan delivery.
It's a juicy last hit we just saw.
I don't know why. It's
there's another juicy last hit.
Just this monotone delivery is so good, actually. I wish I could pull that off. Unfortunately, don't have the skill that you do in the ASMR department. As you can see the coil only onto the Tiny right now as Celery gets off the brain step. He's horribly outnumbered, and we were brought down pretty swiftly here. 15 seconds on the deck for him. And
good rotations. They needed to cover him at the. There were some of the water runes they weren't able to get there to help 9 out. So rotating in now is great for him because he does need the Witchblade probably to be really nasty in terms of ganks.
33. He's got those familiars online now. He's just gonna harass the crap out of Ace. Get a couple nice stuns. Sox is coming in from the other side as well, but the Firefly still has a quite big duration left. Snake King is here as well with a Thunderbolt to try to get some vision, but looks like Ace is going to dodge everything outright. So nicely done from him. But now pressure onto the tier 1.
Yep, ran absolute max distance, so the rotation doesn't work. The supports are getting a little underleveled on the Tundra side. That could hurt them, certainly. Tiny, probably not too worried about it, but for Zeus, it can matter, definitely. Once he gets 6 and starts stealing some kills, maybe it'll change things up. Skeeter is able to pick up his Morbid Mask now, which is a very juicy item, and he's going to use that to jungle now.
God, that sounds so good. It really suits you well. You should put that as, make that part of your brand going forward, I think. My
vernacular, yeah. I'll add that into the old lexicon.
Sounds good. As we're trying to pressure this tier 1 tower, but it's not going to be. And then top lane we saw a slight smoke, but boom, not able to find anybody in the end. Has his coil available and Skeeter into the trees. And
he's hanging out.
Yeah.
They might go for a chrono.
Yeah, it is possible. They can TP into this tier 1 as Dyrachyo is now forcing that fortification. He's level 8 right now. Top net worth in the game. Has the armlet, which is about 2 minutes faster than the average, which you saw in that stat. So he's having himself a great start to this game.
Yeah, kind of interesting that Skeeter played top. Maybe he knows that if he goes into the jungle that he's also going to get pressured and ganked. So this was a nice midway point. He hangs out top in case their team sees an opportunity to fight. But if not, whatever. He doesn't lose that much ultimately. So a little tougher of a time for him. His net worth's not the greatest. But it is still a good hero for him. And they have a good moment to potentially dive and pressure mid tier 1 as well.
And you can see the 2-level advantage right now between the position 1s. So this kind of switch up of lanes has really worked out well for Gaming Gladiators, at least from that department. And I mean, I assume after the armlet and phase boots, we're going to see probably a blink, maybe a fast BKB. But considering they don't really have a blink hero, I mean, they have Puck, but I'm not sure how fast he wants to go for it.
It'll probably be the Deso build. Minus armor is actually quite good against Faceless Void in almost all cases because he doesn't build that many agility items, and he lowers his armor. So it's actually that part of the matchup is really good for the Wraith King versus the Void. Almost all Deso builds beat him, at least in the mid game. So and it's also quite good against Zeus too. And so if he goes like Blink Deso like the normal Wraith King build, this could be a really good game for Dyrachyo.
Yeah, you can see Skeeter still not able to finish the Mask of Madness as of yet. It'll still be a couple hundred away. So he has been, his growth has been stinted, to say the least. Stunted. Man, my vocabulary today is just awful.
Isn't there like a heart stint or something? Is that like a medical term?
Yeah, I'm probably just thinking about my heart attack in the future. I'll need that as 9 in the jungle now, has his Witchblade. And we'll see how they want to play this. I mean, we talked about it last game, how these BKBs kind of line up for both teams. And I mean, from this side, like, Wyvern doesn't buy BKB. This is a position 4 Tiny. Visage doesn't buy BKB. It's really just the Void. As the hammer with the coil combo is enough to take out Soxa, but on the other side, Celery gets taken out by 9, so support for support. Oh, Skeeter just barely the Chronosphere on the tip, as they say, the curse to follow. And the Solar Guardian is coming in. It's not quite enough to save. Boom. So a good kill for Tundra. As Ace is coming in, though, has the Firefly available, and the curse being down already means that 9 is likely to die. And I think that's actually the first lasso we've seen all game, which from Batrider perspective is not... I mean, he's obviously got...
It's fine.
He got stunted in his lane.
He did. No, he's been doing really good, actually. So maybe it's the first lasso, but it's not exactly like an indication of like the hero being played bad or anything. The only person that made a major mistake there was probably 9 getting overly aggressive across the river there. Their kill mid was great. Rotation from Skeeter there to get the Chronosphere. 9 didn't have Arctic Burn in this moment because he'd used it to kill Bane. So actually getting this kill took a little more effort than expected, but it was a nice play. By him to get it. He stayed way too long across the river.
If that Solar Guardian came in like a second earlier, he might have lived. That was really close. But they do get the turnaround kill on the 9, so it's not going to be as favorable as it was last game at the very least. It's 33. He's going to get caught out in the bot lane. And snaking. Oh, the grip is just in range, but the instant cancel from Soxa. Doesn't look like Boom wants to dive any further, but Gaming Gladiators with a 1K lead. And they're looking more like
from diving.
What's that?
He's learned his lesson from diving Zeus's in the last game.
Yes.
A little bit dangerous.
That is true.
But yeah, caught him with the grip, but the instant avalanche interruption makes it a bit of a bummer. But game's still very even. Duracio's still on top. He's building towards Deso now. His ability to kill towers is going to be very powerful. He only needs one more Mythical Hammer and he'll have it. He's going to TP towards the top lane to go farm that out.
So 9 obviously has the Witchblade like we talked about. He's going for Boots of Travel next. And he actually has Ags queued up. So I was talking some shit about this. When I said it was nerfed, it was like a year ago. It was when everybody was buying it like all the time. And then it got, I can't remember what the exact nerf was.
I don't think they nerfed the Ags. I think they nerfed Wyvern ulti is what happened. Because they nerfed the ulti so that it doesn't do full duration unless you have enemies near you. Or, you know, when you ulti somebody, he has to have creeps or heroes near him to make the full duration. Because before, you could basically just solo kill anybody with Orchid. Because you just ulti them, you do your full combo, you kill the one guy, and he's stunned for 4.5 to 5 seconds. You know, it's a huge amount of stun duration. Now it only being halved or whatever is you can't get solo kills as reliably, so you can't snowball as hard. But he's basically playing it the same way he used to. Witchblade, Boots of Travel increases movement speed, then he buys Ags. Ags increases your movement speed by 25%, so it's amazing with BOTs. And then he gets to play like tree lines and get these solo pickoffs. Just, he won't be able to rely on his ulti quite as much.
Celery, he's going to get some backup here from Duraccio. Gets off the Wraith Fire Blast. Snake King getting some nice vision with the Thunder Gods. And that's just going to break things up. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it was a direct nerf, now that I think about it, to the Ags itself. Is we're going to see the Avatos, but the stun coming out from Tofu and the heal. Nice. Starbreaker on top. Soxa is dead. And there's the coil. And remember, this is a position 2 Wyvern, so a very nice kill and juicy, as Purge would say, onto 9, but they're not able to find him yet because Skeeter's in the area. He gets off that Chronosphere, but he gets his teammate inside as juicy well. And Flame Break brings 9 back out, but he's going to tick down finally to the Flame Break. Lasso onto Skeeter. He's going to time-lapse a lot of that away as Boom now on the run, but the right clicks will be enough. So in the end, it's a 2-for-1 as Ace. And the drums are popped. Soul Assumption to follow. Sleep onto one of the Gargoyles. Flame Break to follow, but Ace with that Soul Assumption. Nice turnaround kill from Tundra, but 2-for-2. And
Shannon, did you see that juicy Chronosphere?
I did. It was
very good.
It was very juicy.
I mean, 9 was pretty much screwed no matter what, so maybe it like made it easier for him to die or whatever. Great Solar Guardian. I haven't seen like an amazing turnaround play with Dawnbreaker in a bit. Feels like the hero's ulti has been a little bit less effective, but that one was like absolutely perfect. You get that 4 position kill, you get to turn on 9, and yeah, he had to get Chronosphere potentially, but it was a good jump to save him a little bit here.
I mean, to be fair, if he doesn't chrono him here, he lives. So he did actually get him killed. But that's okay.
Almost worked out and got the puck killed at the start, but just took a little bit of doing. They eventually work him down.
Yeah, and I will say, getting off a good chrono before you have Shard can be pretty difficult, or somebody else to help you initiate, which in that case, he just kind of waddled in and still found a decent Chronosphere in the end.
Yeah, that's really true. It is difficult against these good players. They're always going to react well. Nightmare on Zeus, though.
Yep, Ace. Oh,
no grip.
Grip comes off.
I meant the lasso.
And
they got the grip.
Yep, they got grip number 1, grip number 2 ready to go. As Duraccio getting off that Wraith Fire Blast on a Soxa. He will live through this engagement and will TP out.
Okay. Does have the Deso on the Wraith King, so they got to be really careful about getting close to the enemies at this point. Once he gets Blink, it's going to be easier for him to do his jumps, but when Wyvern got the Grove Bow, oh, that is so good. That's actually so good.
That is a good one.
He's going to amplify all his magic damage by 15% here against his opponents, and that's Witchblade damage, that's Arctic Burn damage, that's Splinter Blast damage, and the attack speed and the attack range. It's so good.
But you do replace it if you get Witchbane next, right?
Why?
Isn't Witchbane really good on that hero?
Is that the attack speed percentage base damage? Yeah. Is Witchbane really good on the hero? I guess so. Yeah.
It's very good.
It's not like really good. It's about the target, not how much mana you have. Is that what you mean?
Witchbane's good.
Like which?
Okay, Purge.
It is. But
it's good on Wyvern.
Legit might keep Growbow.
Right,
like the replacement to Growbow is like Quiver. If he gets a Quiver, sure, he might swap it out.
Ice Frog's watching.
Maybe.
He's gonna put Witchbane in. Okay, and we're gonna see.
Witchbane's only good against like Puck this game, basically, and maybe like Batrider a bit.
It's very good.
Everybody else doesn't have that much.
And we're gonna see a smoke now from Tundra, as we can all agree that I'm correct here.
Witchbane is not juicy.
Oh, we're going to see the Avatos from Soxa, and that's going to be a super quick kill on the setter who's going to be more than happy to tank that gank. But the Wraith. Yes, yes.
Oh, he's going to go try for kill bot.
Okay.
All right, here's the combo.
Yep. The juice is coming. The curse. This is just going to be a solo kill from 9. He's doing a lot of damage, and you can see they Soxa tried to steal with the Avalanche, but not to be this time.
Yep, that's why they put this ward in the lane like this, because this gives 9 opportunities. This is how we abused the playstyle originally when he used to play it. He played these side lanes, he flies into trees, he gets a Winter's Curse off in you, and yeah, he gets a solo kill with all that single target damage. So really nice pick off. That's going to take Tofu's ultimate out of the game for another 12 seconds. But the game has been a little bit passive, certainly for Tundra. But this is just because of the nature that Faceless Void does need time to catch up. Yeah. On net worth. He will be a stronger carry in the ultra late game than Wraith King, but
yep, Soxa's going to tank this gank. This time, obviously, Gaming Gladiators getting their smoke off.
Yep, we'll slow down mid a little bit here. And he's got to be careful. He doesn't have shard yet.
Yeah, and I mean, if they can get this tier 1 tower in the near future and just get a pick off, then Gaming Gladiators can really take Roche extremely fast thanks to the Wraith King.
Mm-hmm.
While Tundra, not so much, because like you said, Void takes a while to get online. But, I mean, I think they're not super disappointed with how the game's going. Even though they're down 2K, for some reason, it feels like this is going to go into the late game, where Void would be potentially favored.
Yeah. It definitely will. I mean, the game looks different than the previous one, because Tundra was able to pressure so well, but their heroes are not quite the same. Kind of a cool skill build from Skeeter, actually. He's left his Chronosphere at 1 point. Little scouting here.
Yep, the curse again. 9. And Tofu looks to be mega dead. Avalanche this time will get the kill for Soxa. As Doraccio. All right, this is a nice nice pick off for Gaiman.
He got it.
Oh my god, he actually does get it off. They're going to try to go for the Gargos in the meantime. He heals up to a decent amount, but you see the rest of his team not really interested, okay. So he dies anyway. Yeah. But that is a really good shard.
Yeah, it's perfect for what Visage needs, you know, because when you get focused, you lose your armor right away, and then you are going to die, so being able to reset that by going to a stone farm and healing on top of it is a really cool option. But yeah, they're going to be able to take Roche most likely.
Yep, you can see Soxa in the area, but Ace has an idea that this is happening, so going to be able to traverse the terrain, and actually going for the kill onto Soxa, but he gets the blink off.
Good blink.
And, I mean, Ace is pretty speedy. Boom with the illusory orb. Can they juke? Looks like he might.
That vision is very short. Yeah. So it's difficult for him to find him without Puck.
And while this is happening, Aegis is going to be taken for Doraccio in all likelihood. And by that I mean boom, of course.
It was a good chase. He legit almost kept finding Soxa. But yeah, Aegis gets grabbed. Great for Boom. That way if he makes any mistakes when initiating, he can keep going. He can get Chronosphered as well and be able to play onto the fight. That's really good. He can get Winter's Cursed. So going to be a lot harder for him to get taken out in the next fight. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Tundra be a little bit careful. Yeah. They're still going to go for their little picks here and there. Soxa and 3-3 currently smoked. But I think they're looking for some support type hero, if possible.
Yeah, 9 now has his Aghanim Scepter, so he can stay in Arctic Burn form for as long as he wants, or as long as his mana can keep it up. How much is that per second? It's 20 mana per second, so
that's not bad.
Mana capacity of 1,600 right now, and it looks like he's going for a Lincoln Sphere, so that kind of kills a couple birds with that stone. Soxa.
Yep. Wouldn't have to worry about lasso.
Toss Avalanche. Celery's dead. There's like a lot of these position 5s are tanking these ganks today.
Yeah. But against all these summons and things, like there's nothing he can do with Bane to stop the chase.
He can get shard.
He could AoE Brain Sap. Yeah, that's not going to do shit. 'Cause the bird, the bats are basically invulnerable, so yeah, that would not give him a lot.
Oh, Avatos,
like
but Duracio's here with the Wraithfire Blast. They might have to reset this as the coil is used in a defensive measure, and that's the first life for the Wraith King. Boom, already at low HP. I think Gaming Gladiators are going to try to run away, but the Solar Guardian coming in. But there's the Chrono, setting it up actually for the side of Tundra, focusing on Ace, and they're going to get that along with Tofu. As Gaimin now continuing on the run. Boom looks to be fine. I say that, but 9 is continuing to chase with this Aghanim Scepter, so that is just the Aegis. But now he's going to get horribly surrounded, but the Familiar's ready to stun. Oh, he actually dodges the Avalanche. Blink, Illusory Orb, and tossed back into the fray, but the orb was still up. He jaunts to it, and the Nightmare actually dodging a little bit of damage. The phase shift again, but no blink this time. And in the end, Snake King is able to net himself a very valuable kill, as you can see Celery just in a very sad state of affairs. Oh,
he wanted.
Yeah, a little bit cocky there, but
okay.
9 does find the kill in the end, and that is a big fight for Tundra. They take out the Aegis. Full team wipe, and I don't think they lost anybody here. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, they engaged the entire fight perfectly. Like, they won on Soxa. Soxa easily survived with a super high armor. He's the one hero that Wraith King can't kill very easily. And then they layered the Winter's Curse.
Oh, Avatar, Soxa. The BKB keeps Ace alive a little bit longer, but he's just going to have to hightail it back to the fountain. And Tundra, well, they could focus on Duraccio. He doesn't have ult. He's just dead again. 50 seconds, no Wraith King. Oh. That's a set of racks at minimum. And this is all without Skeeter having a BKB, which is now being delivered. Yeah. Oh, okay, backdoor is finally gotten through. That was a little awkward, but 5K lead just like that from Tundra. This is like an 8K reversal in the last minute.
Yeah, that was a huge, huge fight for them. Truly juicy Chrono after the Winter's Curse. And that was all while Bat wasn't BKB'd, so I mean, that comes down to 9 going for the backline. Catching Bat, that's a lot of the team fight that Gladiators are looking for to like solidify their kills. Basically, it protects Void by getting that grab, among other things. So yeah, the BKB timing for Gladiators doesn't really get to be embraced, and their jump kind of sucked as well, because all it went to was getting a Tiny to half health. Not going to be good enough.
Yep, as we're going to see Ace already at low HP. Tofu healed him a bit with the Solar Guardian. These Solar Guardians just, I mean, it's not Tofu's fault at all, but they just haven't felt impactful in this game. As we're going to see the siege onto the tier 3 bottom. This might be the last stand for Gaming Gladiators in this series, potentially. 9, okay, Skeeter. He has the shard now, along with the BKB, so he can get off these initiations. Chrono now up.
Yeah, they can't push right now. 9 can't be there. Him and Ace had that little duel in the top lane. So, but he had to TP back to base to get full mana, and Ace was able to show up to the fight, so they'll just back temporarily. They're still pretty content with their current placement. They're just going to get more and more farmed here. Skeeter with his BKB now is much more capable to Chronosphere. Yeah, they'll just reset and recontrol the map. Their team fight is just so much better on the Tundra side from here on out, between like Chronosphere, and they've got Wraith Pact, and they've got Vision, and they've got Winter's Curse. Like, everything just looks really solid for their team.
Yeah, 9 is going towards the Orchid, which was talked about in the panel as well. And at that Aghanim Scepter, a lot of times I feel like it comes out and you don't see the impact like immediately, because it feels like they still sometimes need a couple of items, or it doesn't really align with the other carry on the team. But this time around, it has felt extremely impactful.
The Enchanted Quiver, which one? The Eternal Dilemma.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Do you want the Grobo? I actually think the Grobo's better this game. They're both really good, though. Yeah, he does give it away. Because 15% of all damage is an absolute shitload. Plus the 20 attack speed is really good also. Grobo is really good in a lot of other cases, though. Especially when you only attack once every 4 seconds. Ooh, they're going to go on Duraccio a little.
Yeah, Tundra do TP in mass, as an AC is now online for 33. Skeeter backtracks back. Okay. Has that Chronosphere available, could use it on this Winter Curse's target, which he will. Zones out the rest of the team, and that is a dead puck. Boom, dead, 60 seconds, does have buyback though. Big Avatos as Ace gets off the BKB, has to worry about the physical damage now, which ultimately spells doom for him. So a 3-for-0 as Gaming Gladiators getting close to tapping out here.
Yeah, it was a tough one. That was Tofu's Ags on Dawnbreaker, which is supposed to help out decently well, but the problem is that it went on the back line. They didn't save the puck with it, basically. Puck got Winter's Cursed, and they layered Chrono on top of it to guarantee his death. So this was all 9 basically catching the puck here. The phase shift ended. He ends up getting with the Orchid and the ulti. They chrono the back line, and yeah, Tofu's ultimate was over on the right. It was not really on the right target necessarily. If that was able to keep puck alive, I think the fight's very different, because then Chronosphere would have felt misused, but don't know what happened with the ulti there, but for some reason not able to keep puck alive. They placed it on the right instead. Maybe didn't anticipate the chrono or something.
Yeah, and obviously with the Aghanims from Dawnbreaker gives you that extra evasion, so...
yeah, that would have been... And he has Locket too. Like, it actually... He definitely would have saved the puck, certainly.
Yeah, because the only thing that killed the puck there was the Wyvern right clicks. Like, they didn't even bother expending anything else.
No, well, there was like a lightning bolt and stuff, but it would have been enough to save him probably, yeah.
Yep, Skeeter jumping in. You can see the Nimbus is now online, as that is life number 1. Ace does get the kill on Soxa, though. Dyrachyo getting chased by Gargoyles. Like they'll reset as the number advantage is in favor of Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, +9 died in the enemy base. I missed that one, sorry. Whoops.
In the enemy base? Oh, yeah.
Yes, he died in the Gladiators base. Didn't see that one. Probably was trying to get kills. You know how it goes.
Yeah, cocky behavior.
He's queuing up a Bloodthorn next. That'll be a fun item. Here's the clip. Oh, he's like, I want to get a kill again. He's like, run! Yeah, then he got dream coiled. Okay.
Yeah, that's
nice punish there by Boom. That's super important.
Little
that was a lot of
overextension.
damage. I'm surprised Puck was able to solo kill him, but he's got Kaya Sanj and a ceremonial robe, so.
Celery getting scouted out. Nightmare's going to save him from 1 stun, but the Soul Assumption finishes him off from 33.
There's like nothing he can do against a Visage. It feels so bad.
Look at these items on him. AC, Boots of Bearing, Wraith Pact, Visage. Mr. 33 is mega farmed.
And he's got 2 more slots completely empty. He can buy like anything. They're very ready to play. How come nobody ever buys Wraith Pact and Wraith Band, Suns fan?
That's true. You need all the Wraiths to combine. What if you had 3 Wraith Bands with a Wraith Pact, and then at 25 minutes, your Wraith Pact doubles in efficiency because you have 3 Wraith Bands? It makes sense.
That sounds really balanced.
Right?
Then the aura would reduce enemy damage by 60%. Yeah, that sounds really fair.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Everybody loves the damage reduction strats these days. As into the pit Tundra goes, there is a smoke from Gaming Gladiators, and they have scouted this out.
He found 9.
Yeah, they're going to try to go for this, but Ace pops the BKB. And Skeeter looking for a potential Chrono target, but Zeus is going to be the first to fall, but buys back into the game. But there's the Curse and the Chronosphere. You can see the Solar Guardian doing a decent amount with the evasion, but it's just not enough. Boom is dead. No buyback for him, so this turns into a 5v3 situation for Tundra as they look to finish off game number 2. Lasso does come out, though. On to 9. He's getting extremely low, but somehow surviving, keeps himself alive now. And Dyrachyo looks to be the last to fall as an ultra kill for Skeeter. There are several buybacks from Gaming Gladiators, but this could be the end of their run here as GGs do come out. So 2-0 Tundra, which means we're going to have a lower bracket tiebreaker between Goon Squad and Gaming Gladiators to see who gets relegated with Alliance.
And not the place that Gaming Gladiators